Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the 2021 baseball season. I appreciate you joining us today. Virtually, this is the new normal, so we'll make the best of it. Needless to say, myself, our coaches, our players, eager for Friday, February 19th. Can't get here fast enough. We've been on that countdown for quite some time, and we finished up basically our preseason round of inter-squads yesterday. We had a very good weekend to finish up our preseason inter-squad. We've got a few things to do this week, obviously, to get prepared for Friday, but the heavy lifting is done. We are eager to get started, and we host a really good Youngstown State team that started last season very well before the cancellation, so we'll have to play well. But most importantly, we get a chance to play baseball. It's right around the corner. I have one sincere goal this year. Normally this time of year we talk about competing for a championship and trying to do some great things individually and collectively. My singular goal is to play the games. We've done a lot to get to this point. Our players have sacrificed a lot already. They will continue to do that. Our administration, our medical team have done incredible work. Playing the games is the central focus for me. And we'll deal with the outcomes, good or bad. But getting to the start line is going to be critically important, and then continuing to do what we have to do to play baseball. 346 days, I think, from last pitch to first pitch of 2021. Friday night at 6 o'clock, you're going to have some really excited baseball players and coaches on both sides to kick it off, so can't wait to get started.
All right, we're going to open it up for questions now.
Hey, Mark, I wanted to ask you specifically about a couple of Wiregrass players. I want to start with Matt Snell. I know you used him in a relief role last year. Is that the plan this year? And also, I know he's got a good bat. Do you plan to use him in that situation this time?
Well, first and foremost, Matt got off to a great start last year as a true freshman, was settling into a very important role on the mound. We had envisions of him potentially being a starter. Quite frankly, we like everything he does, but he had a little setback with the arm this fall. He missed quite a bit of time in the fall practice session, had some rehab, no surgery, nothing major, just an arm injury that required extensive shutdown and rehab. He threw for the first time live last weekend and was outstanding, and that mainly has kind of moved it toward the bullpen concept as we start the year. He's a great piece in the bullpen. He throws strikes. He's got more than one pitch he can throw for a strike, and he competes very well. And that really profiles well to the bullpen. So that's how Matt will start the year. And you mentioned the bat. I'll give you a quick little Matt Snell-ism. During the arm period where he wasn't throwing, rehabbing, he didn't swing the bat either. We wanted to make sure we did everything proper to take care of his arm. I think he had a BP session on Thursday for the first time in like 2 months. I stuck him in Friday's inter-squad game, and his second at bat he homered. He can hit. He can really hit. And so I think his bat will factor into our program at some point, whether it be early in the year, middle of the year, the whole year in some capacity. But what Matt has, you can't teach. He competes well. He's not afraid of the moment. He's going to be an invaluable part of our team this year. Certainly on the mound and eventually with the bat.
And I'll stick with some pitchers. Zach Moore, a senior, and also Grayson Stewart. Would he figure into your plans this year as a freshman?
Well, Zach's interesting. Zach's one of our sixth-year seniors. We've got a couple, and when you're talking about sixth year, you're talking about some never-before things. Normally, players don't have the opportunity to be around for six, so that experience has got to pay off in some form or fashion, and I hope that can give him a chance to help our team out of the bullpen, left-handed guy out of the bullpen. Grayson Stewart had gotten off to a really good start as a first-year freshman. He experienced some arm issues in the fall, and which has led to more of a shutdown phase for Grayson. So, unfortunately, the injury is going to cause him to miss the year. He is in full rehab mode now. The reports are good. All indications are he will be fully healthy and ready to start fresh next year. And he's got a bright future. You want to talk about a guy that competes and gets after it now. He's a small, undersized right-hander that competes with a big competition level and has had great success up to this point. I really think he'll succeed here, but he's going to have to be patient and start that process next year.
And finally, I wanted to ask you about Tanner Jackson, what his role may be this year for you.
Well, Tanner is quickly ascended to maybe one of the unluckiest guys that we've had in our program. Last year, 2 weeks before the season started, he had a shoulder injury that came up that limited his preseason preparation, and when the season got started, he was on the injured list and really never got back to full health in time to help our team the first month, and then, of course, the season was canceled. Well, about a week ago, he had a he slid into third base and injured his knee, and he's on the injury list again with a little bit of a knee issue, not surgery required, but wearing a slight brace, and so he's not able to practice right now, so he'll start the season again on the injured list, which is certainly disappointing. Tanner has got immense power. He can really damage. He does great damage with the bat. He was an important right-handed hitter for our team. And I can tell you this, for the first time in my career as a head coach, first time in my career as a coach, not head coach, 32nd year, we've got more left-handed hitters than right-handed hitters. I've never coached a team with that. So losing a caliber bat like Tanner has from the right side gives us a little less balance. So I hope that the knee will respond well. I've been told it's probably going to be about 3 to 4 more weeks before he can return to full activity. And as you well know, once the season starts, it's hard to get into game shape after you start the year. So we'll monitor his progress, and as soon as he's healthy, hopefully we can plug him in and he can give us some right-handed punch.
Mark, can you talk a little about today's Sun Belt announcement, about the preseason selections and what that means for those players?
Well, it's certainly always exciting for your players to get recognized, certainly in this form when the league coaches make those choices. The way it works, we get to nominate players from all over the league, and they send out a list of guys that are nominated, and then each coach sits down and selects the players they feel are most worthy. We're not allowed to vote for our own players, so it's truly the opponent's lens. And as you witnessed with the number of guys we had on the team, we've had guys that have done some really good things here. And what the preseason recognition means is past success. They recognize for what they've accomplished. It sometimes is a harbinger of what's to come, and certainly I hope that's the case here with all of our preseason guys, for them to have a great season. But it speaks to their success in previous season. It's a testament to what they've accomplished and how hard they've worked. And quite honestly, the guys on the list, I have great expectations that we'll have great seasons for our team. All have critical importance and all have a very important role. But it's certainly rewarding as a coach to see your players get recognized in any form, whether it be preseason or an in-season award or a postseason award. Because I see all the hard work these players put in. I see the commitment. I see the hours that nobody sees in the cage, in the bullpen, in the weight room, doing all the things required to be a very successful player. Fans and media get to see the games, and I get to see the behind-the-scenes work, and I'm really proud of all of these players that have been recognized, and certainly hope they perform well enough to get further recognition down the line. Well, you're right. The only real loss in terms of volume of work was Levi Thomas, our Friday night starter in 2020. Had a great month of the season. Was terrific in that role. One of the best Friday night guys we've had. So losing him, we had more loss coming in the process. We had a heavy senior class on the mound, so we had done some advanced recruiting work in this class to address the pitching departures. Well, a lot of them came back, and so now we've got an abundance of guys, and quite honestly, and I say this with respect to the teams we've had here and the pitchers we've had here, and we've had some dang good ones through the years. This is the best group of arms that we've had in my 19 years here at Troy collectively. We'll see if that pans out in games. I believe it will. The class, well, first of all, let me backtrack. We have enough guys returning that I feel confident experience will help us starting the year. But anytime a first-year guy can impact that, they've accomplished something. The Friday night starter will be Orlando Ortiz. He was our number 2 starter last year. He's matured. I think he's prepared for the Friday night role, which is a very, very important role for any team. He's matured. He's prepared. He's better. It'll be a new challenge for him because he pitched on Saturday last year instead of Friday. After that, the order is not officially set. We haven't got anything nailed down. But there's a couple guys that have kind of moved toward the front in the returning capacity. DJ Wilkinson, Bay Witcher are 2 guys that have had excellent preseasons. Both have thrown the ball exceptionally well. One of our newcomers, Garrett Gaines, is going to impact our rotation very quickly. He is scheduled to start opening weekend. The order has not been announced yet. We'll get to that later in the week. But Garrett is a freshman from Cairo, Georgia, 6'4", right-hander, physical, got a good arm. But what he's shown me since he's been on our campus, he's got good stuff. He's got a good fastball and a good breaking ball and got a good changeup. He knows what he's doing. What he's shown me is a desire to compete at a high level and maintain good poise in the process of competing. Many times the freshmen get sped up. They get a little bit off balance. They get a little bit out of sorts, and they really, really scuffle to get back on line. And up to this point, Garrett's shown none of that. We'll find out if he can maintain that when adversity hits in a regular season game. But he's got a chance to be really good. One of the better freshmen we've had here in some time. So those are the first four guys. We've got several other guys that have continued to give us a chance. Kyle Gamble, a first-year left-handed transfer from Florida. The junior colleges in Florida has thrown exceptionally well. Dominic Miller, another left-handed junior college transfer out of the bullpen. Mason Kinney, a transfer from Furman University that shut their program down, has thrown exceptionally well. Lance Johnson returns, all-conference selection. He's got third or fourth highest most appearances in the country back. That's a bullpen piece that you can count on. Max Newton's back. Max has thrown incredibly well in this preseason. He's pitched in a variety of roles here. So, and I'm leaving. I can't get them all. It's a good group. It's the largest group of guys we've had, and I'm excited about each and every one of them. And there'll be some other names that emerge, but what I can say is when you start any season, one of the disadvantages we have at this level, you don't have every question answered, especially on the mound. You're just not sure about everything. You can't get that information through a fall practice session, in a preseason practice session. You got to get the games going. You got to see some guys handle things, good or bad. I don't know what our final order will be, and I'm not sure our bullpen order yet, but I think we're going to have good options available, multiple options available, and that's something that I think fans will come to enjoy very quickly. We've got as good a pitching depth as we've had in 19 years.
Mark, I assume this roster is the biggest you've ever had as a head coach, and I know depth-wise that's a good thing. What are the challenges, though, with getting people playing time and this kind of thing?
Well, that's a great question because you're right. Our roster cap the last 12 years has been 35 players. And my previous 5 years as the head coach, it was 35 players. And with all the process that's unfolded the last calendar year, we have no limit. It was an unlimited concept this year. Our roster's at 42. I think that's going to play a role at some point with all the challenges that are in front of us. But planning practices and inter-squad games and trying to find opportunity for a high volume of players was a real challenge this fall. What I found out, though, quite frankly, the very first day we were allowed to do any form of baseball activity in the fall was September 1st. Our first practice as a full unit team was October 16th. The first day we had all 42 players on the field at the same time was November 12th. And that's a 2+ month process where one or more of our players was not available for some reason. Not always COVID, but for some reason. COVID was a part of that, but not always. So the number of players, I think, over the season is going to become very important for our team and for every team in the country, because we're walking into uncertainty. We test multiple times per week, and the advent of loss is potentially in every testing scenario. So I think the overall depth is going to play a part. Getting repetition and opportunity for 42 is a sincere challenge. I think I got better at it as I went, but I know the first day it was a daunting task to look at that many players and say, how are we going to get these things accomplished with these large groups? But I'm glad we've got all 42, and I know they're all going to help at some point.
Coach, what are your thoughts just overall on the Sun Belt Conference this year and the depth and just the talent this year in this conference?
In my opinion, I think this could be possibly the most talented group of players this league's ever seen. And I say that, again, with all due respect to years past. There's been some really good players and great teams in this league over the years. But at no point has there been this many older players in this league, this many experienced players. Every team in this league and really around the country is sitting in the same position that we're sitting in. We have virtually every player returning from last year, -1. Virtually every hitter that played last year is back. Many teams can say that. And so when you look at the recent success of teams in our league, typically they're older, junior, senior heavy lineups, junior, senior heavy pitching. Well, everybody's got that this time. And I think it's going to bode well for our league. I think it's going to be the most challenging year we've ever had in this league in terms of competition. I think it's going to be incredible from start to finish. I think winning games is going to be a sincere challenge because the other team's going to match and exceed your team in every way. And I think it'll make for the most interesting 10-week race that we maybe have ever had. I think it bodes well for college baseball as a whole. I think the entire sport of college baseball is going to see things that maybe have never been done before with this type of experience and talent on the field at the same time. So the interesting thing to me about the Sun Belt, and we were asked to pick the order of finish, and I think we were picked to finish 4th in the East, and which is fine. It doesn't matter where you're picked, first or last. It really doesn't matter. But as I sat down to do that, the interesting thing that I learned that I had forgotten, we didn't play a Sun Belt game last year. We played 17 games, and I didn't see Georgia Southern play. I didn't see South Alabama play. I didn't see anybody in our league play up close and personal. Saw some tape, saw some video, but not in a game. And so every team in some form is going to be a little bit different from the last time that we saw that team in 2019. So it was very difficult to assess who might be the favorite team or who might be the team to beat. When I'm not sure who that's going to be, I think it's going to be wide open, a dogfight every weekend. Really and truly, starting the year is great. Getting to the conference play, that's going to be a lot of fun when we kick that off in the middle of March.
Anything else for Coach Smartt?
Can you talk a little bit about Youngstown State coming into town this weekend? It's the only non-Southeast opponent you're here to have on your schedule this year.
Well, I really like our schedule overall. It's very challenging. It typically is. We've got some great non-conference opponents, both home and road. We've got some great midweek opponents, both home and road, so it sets up to be quite challenging like it always does. And then, of course, it's highlighted by the conference games. The Youngstown State series was probably set 3 or 4 years ago in reality. And with the challenges of COVID over the last 9 months, a lot of schedule changes have been made. Travel has become more of a challenge, getting on airplanes, et cetera. So you see a lot more regional interaction among scheduling, which I happen to think is a good thing for college baseball. But fortunately, and I say this with all sincerity, fortunately, Youngstown is able to continue to keep the series in play. We never had any issues with the weekend. They had a coaching change last year, first year head coach, who I do not know personally. I've come to respect his work quite immensely watching what's happened there. He's turned a program that was somewhat middle of the pack in their league, lower part of their league, into what was arguably the best team in their league last year before the shutdown. They opened the year, they took 2 out of 3 at Houston. They took 2 out of 3 at Abilene Christian, both on their turf in the southeast Texas area. They play an aggressive brand of baseball. It's a very in-your-face approach. We're going to have to play awfully well to win. Frankly, Youngstown State, New York Yankees, it doesn't matter. It really doesn't. Play. I can't wait to play. And when we get into that mode, we have to do what we're supposed to do to have a chance to win. You want to be respectful and aware of your opponent and what their tendencies are. But the bottom line is to get to the start line and play our very best and take care of our business. But this is not a typical northern, show up and mail it in type scenario to open the season. This is going to be a very, very good team that was off to a great start last year. So, in fact, their first 2 starters last year were both left-handed, and they both were excellent. And I anticipate them throwing at some point this weekend. So we're going to have to play well to win. But quite honestly, again, my goal is to play, and we'll finish the game Friday, figure out what we did good or bad, and try to get ready to play on Saturday and play on Sunday. And can't wait to get started.
Coach, just real quick, wanted to ask your thoughts on that new Charles Henderson head baseball coach, and what do you think of him?
I think he's learning how to coach, and I think what he's learned is it's a lot more than standing on the field and throwing BP and hollering and screaming. He's learned that weather is a huge part. When you play, when you're a player, you just deal with the weather. When you're a coach, you're trying to predict and weather, and Chase has had his hands full with his preseason, but I'm excited for him. Their first game got rained out Saturday. They were supposed to play GW Long, and that got canceled. They're supposed to play Thursday of this week. I'm not sure how that goes, but I've enjoyed watching him go through the process of learning how to coach. He asked a lot of questions of myself, Coach Gerke, Coach Hancock, other coaches that he knows. This is going to be a learning year for him, and I know that he's excited about getting his career started, and I'm certainly going to support him any way I can. But like I said, he's learning how to coach, and everybody thinks they can coach. Trust me, everybody on our team, all our players think they can coach. All the other teams' players think they can coach. All the fans know they can coach. Everybody can coach. But when it's your turn to coach, you'll find out how much fun it really is. So, but I'm certainly pulling for, and I hope he does well this year. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it. Look forward to seeing everybody in 2021.
We'll go ahead and have shortstop Drew Frederic come up next, and we'll open it right up for questions. Questions for Drew Frederic? All right, Drew, talk a little bit about how, coming back to your 6th year, first player in Smart's career, coming back for 6 years. Just talk about what that's like and the leadership role you've embraced on this team.
Yeah, so it's obvious. It's been a lot of fun. I'm super excited that I got to come back for my 6th year and be able to finish my career. Obviously, I'm very experienced. I kind of know how things go. Coach Smart's very meticulous in everything that he does, and not much has really changed in that. So it's been fun. I'm just looking forward to the season starting.
baseball. So, how's your mindset on that? The fact that you lost season last year, and now you're actually getting to play again.
Yeah, I think it gives me a really big appreciation for actually playing the game. Luckily I got the chance to play in a small league in Montgomery this summer, and it made me appreciate playing. Like I came to really enjoy just showing up to the games. Like they weren't super competitive or anything, but it was just like it made me appreciate playing the game and having all those times off. It wasn't very fun not being able to do anything with the team or not see any of the coaches over the time. So it's definitely been hard, but I'm really looking forward to actually playing again.
Have you looked into anything about Youngstown State? What are you kind of expecting this weekend?
To be completely honest, I haven't looked into anything. I have no idea what they have. Coach Smartt told us the other day about their two lefties that he just talked about, but I don't know anything else about them right now. I'm sure we'll learn more this week going into it, but nothing as of right now.
You want to talk a little about the preseason selection and what it means to you to be included on that the preseason All Sun Belt team?
Yeah, it's cool. I'm super happy for everybody else that was selected from our team. The preseason selections, like Coach Smart said, it just tells you what you did in the past. It really doesn't mean anything for the season other than expectations are high for you. I don't control anything that they do or they select, so just being selected is a great honor. Like it's really cool, but if I don't perform the way that they expect me and I expect myself to perform, then it doesn't really mean that much. So it just gives me a little extra motivation to go out there and prove them right, that they picked the right person.
All right, anything else for Drew? All right, thanks, Drew. Next up, we'll have outfielder Rigsby Mosley. We'll go ahead and open it up for questions right away.
So, Richie, how do you feel about just getting out there and playing?
Yeah, we're really excited. Obviously, because COVID last year it was so abrupt and just canceled the whole entire year, and we didn't know what was going to happen, and we're just really excited to go out there and play now.
Just speak on the expectations of this squad this year.
I mean, for us, we're going to be a really competitive team. We have a lot more pitching than we had in the past. As far as expectations go, just go out there and do your best every day and compete within the game, and it'll take care of itself.
What do you know about your opponent this weekend?
Not much. I'll go off what Drew said. I know there's two lefties. Coach Smart told us about them. I know that last year they played, or in 19 they played pretty good against Houston. I know University of Houston's a pretty good team, so I know that they'll be competitive and everybody's gonna be ready playing Friday night. So they'll be coming out with a vengeance.
What's your mindset like?
Preseason selection. What does it mean to you to be included on that list of players that were picked this year? And obviously, a lot of Trojans on that team.
I'm really grateful. I mean, it's an honor to be on that preseason selection. It goes to a testament of the hard work that we put in as a team. All the other guys that are on our team are extremely deserving, and they deserve to be on that, obviously. That's about it.
Talk a little bit about your mindset. Finally getting to play again.
Mhm.
You got a dangerous offensive lineup. Talk about what's your head like heading into the season.
We're excited. I mean, I can't tell you how excited I am to go play. Since the last time it's it's been March since we played last. So, but we're just put good at bats together during the whole entire game, and compete every pitch, and we're gonna do good things.
All right, anything else for Rigsby? All right, thanks, Rig.
Mhm.
And lastly, we'll have our projected Friday night opening night starter, Orlando Ortiz. And we'll go ahead and open it right up to questions.
They're short, I know.
Appreciate you trimming that.
You like it? I thought they were gonna ask me about it. I was gonna say something, but
Just tell us about the expectations and the excitement about throwing that first pitch Friday night.
Oh man, I know last year it was probably the most nerve-wracking thing I've ever had to do, and it was just Saturday. So I'm pretty nervous. I'm pretty excited. Hopefully I see a good number up there on the board behind me on the first pitch. Just trying to throw a strike, compete every pitch. And I got to experience a good player go out there last year until the first pitch in Levi. So hopefully I can go out there and do the same thing he did.
Talk a little bit about what you learned, throwing behind Levi last year, a guy who got drafted. What did you learn from him in your one game play?
Oof, I learned everything. I learned my routine, my pregame routine, my weekly routine. I really just learned how to compete like a champion, how to have relentless pursuit, everything. He taught me everything I know so far. With his help and with Coach Hancock's help, everything I'm gonna do, I've been doing all fall, all spring, preseason, over the summer. Everything I learned from him, so hopefully it helps me out this spring.
Talk a little about the significance of stepping into that spot. Obviously, what you've learned from Levi, but stepping into his shoes and taking that Friday night starter position and the importance that it plays within the team.
Well, I don't know. It's kind of nerve-wracking, but I think I'm ready for it. The trust that my coaches have in me is really helping me out. I'm just trying to go out there and compete, give my team a chance to win. Just throw a lot of strikes. I don't know. It's nerve-wracking a little bit.